Hello everyone. It's a Tuesday evening. I'm just heading out to the garden. We finally had 2 days in a row without rain. That must be some sort of a record, I think, this spring. But the sun is shining, so it's a good time to head to the garden. Still a lot of drying up has to happen before we do any real gardening. But we were just throwing around some ideas about what we could do with some areas on the property. And let me know what you think about this one. So there's my garden. I've got lots of straw on it and duck poop and things like that. And this bed we started many years ago. We had herbs and things like that and some chives. We have rhubarb here, and what we tried one year was to fill all these cinder blocks with some soil and grow some things in them, and only certain things worked, like some of the herbs. But I think we're going to cut this down in size and just leave the rhubarb where it is. Get rid of this because eventually we'd like to put some sort of a garden shed here with doors on each end so that you could sit and look at the pond or sit and look at the garden and the fruit orchard. But years ago we had these rocks, boulders I guess you'd say, brought onto the property to help shore up the stream end of the pond because of erosion. And we never got around to moving these. I'm kind of like where they're at. So I think the plan is we have a flower bed in front of the house we would like to move. I think we're going to put it here. And on this side of it, it just kind of grows up in weeds and all these things here. I'm not even sure what they are. Maybe somebody can tell me if you can see that or not. But they're just in the ground loose. You pull it out, there's not much to it. So I've planted a couple of trees. They're not doing so well. But I think what I'm going to do is from this rock in a straight line to about here, as far as distance down the hill and in line with this rock, I'm going to till it up with my the garden claw, rake out the weeds and grass, and I think I'm just going to top dress it with a wildflower mix, like a meadow mix or something. And I think it would look pretty in front of those boulders. And if you've seen my videos last year, you know that I have a spot for a flagpole. And I just jammed that in the ground with the Canadian flag on there. So that's going to be a bit of the project, I think, for tonight, is to start working on this. Well, there's the end result. It took me about an hour of work and a bit of sweat. I used this old garden claw. We've had this, my God, I think, well, I wouldn't dare put a number on it. We've had it for a long time. But it did the job okay. I ended up losing a lot of material, but that's okay. I don't mind that. I lost a full gorilla cart worth of clay and roots and things like that, but it's really just the moss and the weeds that I want to get out of there anyway, so I don't mind sacrificing that. I can always get some mulch or some soil. I think what I may do by these boulders, I've got to come back now and clean that up, and at that top part I may put down a weed barrier, and then in between each rock I think I'll put a sedum or some sort of a shrub that doesn't grow any taller than the boulders. Maybe you can help me decide and leave a comment below what you think might work. I'm in Zone 5 in Atlantic Canada. But for here, what I'll do, I'll let this sit in the sun for a few days and kill off any of the roots or weeds that I missed, work it up again, maybe throw in some compost or growing mix just to kind of top it off, and then get some meadow mix or wildflower mix here. I don't know if I'm going to use an edging material. I find it kind of looks gaudy sometimes, but I do mow the grass here, so I need to keep an edge, so I may just get the stuff that you can at least hammer down into the ground and not necessarily see it. We'll try it anyway. We'll see what happens, and then I think maybe this year, I don't know if I have time. Oh look, duck coming in. Another special treat for you. I think what I may do is till this up and then put rows of hostas, different varieties perhaps, on this side of the hill. But anyway, that's it for tonight. Let me know what you think. Thanks for tuning in. The sun is setting. It's time to get my hat back on. It's cooling off. But for now, there's a beautiful view of the sun setting. It's just gorgeous. And I'm very fortunate to call this place my home.